Hello, this is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Put your questions in the comments now. I'm going to try to make this quick, this update quick, so that I can jump into your questions because I saw questions rolling in yesterday and I did not get to address a lot of those. So I want to address your questions today most of the time. I have great news, and this is yet another reason why it is so important to apply now. So, the back at the USCIS, we still have a ways to go, but the USCIS did release a report showing that they have reduced the backlog. Doesn't mean they have gotten rid of it, but they have substantially improved the backlog. So they released some numbers. They processed 10 million cases through in the past fiscal year 2023. The process swore in 800 and I believe 78,000 new US citizens, and then reduced the processing times of citizenship applications from 10 months to 6 months. And so it shows you that, yes, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to be desired. However, it does show that they are working to process cases. So don't wait, right? Don't wait, because even in the future, if you should apply, if we have another government that does not prioritize the immigration, the process of immigration. As a matter of fact, if we have another government in place, another newly elected president, for example, that then starts to see immigration and immigrants and immigrants' applications as less of a priority, then we will have the backlog again. So once again, this is why it's so important to make sure that you get your applications in and you get it in fast, because once you get a solid application in, you get it in within a good amount of time, then it means that you are going to be one of those that are going to be the applicants that they review in the next year, because they're focusing on speeding it up. Now, where you do see, I know some of you are watching here and what you're thinking is, yeah, but my case has been pending. I spoke to somebody just earlier today whose marriage-based case has been pending since 2021. That is extremely long. Extremely long for a marriage-based case. Most of my marriage-based cases are done in 8 to 12 months. If it goes beyond that, then it means that there is something that is more complex that's going on. And I do have complex immigration cases, and we do expect processing times to be longer for those cases that are more complex, of course. But if yours should not be as complex as the ones that do take long, but it is taking long, it means that there's something probably going awry with the application. So this is where, for those of you who have not submitted your applications, don't go it alone, because this is exactly what happens. You don't know the intricacies of the immigration laws. You may not even know, and this is just because you don't do this day to day. You may not even know the purpose they're asking for the purpose of certain documents, the reason for certain questions, and you may overlook some of those questions. And that one question that maybe you missed, or that one document that you did not put into the process, into the application packet, could be that one thing that delays your application. So you want to make sure that you do it right, and seeing with their efforts to reduce the backlog, right, and speed cases up. When they see an application that is ready, it's complete, they have everything they need, they are also eager. I have seen this firsthand, because that's what happens with my cases. They're eager to get them out quickly and get the answer, the decision to my clients quickly, because it's all there for them to review and then give a decision within a decent amount of time, or within the expected time. So that's the exciting news here with the backlog. And what that means is, if they did this in 2023 fiscal year, we're now in the 2024 fiscal year. That means that they're continuing to aim to reduce the backlog. The work continues, and so you want to be involved in that. Now, the other exciting news has to do with the law firm. So, we have been my schedule has been filled to capacity. And I do know that individuals want to get fast help. So, what I've done is I have another attorney has joined me here at the firm to be able to help me to advise you to determine what you qualify for and how we can help you move forward. So, Attorney Colon, so Bria Colon, if you go to the link in the profile, you will see Attorney Bria, and she will now start taking appointments. So, in addition to me, I now work closely with another attorney who will start taking appointments so we can get to the bottom of what your situation is quicker so we can help you forward. Now, that does not mean that I'm out of the picture completely. What that means is that I get to help more people and I get to then go ahead and work with you after we've determined what you qualify for. Then I can go ahead and work closely with you to get your case moving along faster, because I don't want to be helping you in late March or helping you in early April. I want to be able to help you as soon as possible. So you can still go ahead, call the office, schedule your appointment, but just know now, if you tried before but the appointment was too far out, you can still apply. You can still now, schedule an appointment with Attorney Bria, and you will get the same help that you get with me, and you will continue to work with me as a client. But this is the way that I'm making sure that I can help as many people as possible. So go to the link in the profile, schedule your own appointment. You can choose me. You can still look at my schedule. If that works for you, you can still choose me to talk to, or you can choose Attorney Bria. Attorney Bria has a much more flexible schedule, but Attorney Bria puts you through the same evaluation, works very closely with me, does the same evaluation as me, to see what you qualify for, how to get moving in and to achieve your immigration goals. So those are the two main things I wanted to talk to you about, and I am going to stop right now so that I can answer your questions, because I'm seeing a ton of questions coming in. Thanks so much, Stacia. I really appreciate that. So let's go ahead and answer some questions. I'm going to go very quickly because I want to get to a lot of your questions. Can we make InfoPass appointment and check on my case in person? So I am not usually in the habit of doing an InfoPass to check the appointment. In the past, now when earlier during Obama's time and during Trump's time, part of Trump's time, they threw out InfoPass completely. They took off that option. But when it was available, and if the case required me, if it was maybe taking too long or they didn't get something or wanted to deliver something in person, then InfoPass appointment was an option. But however, now I don't really make it a big process to schedule an InfoPass unless there's an additional issue that you need to address. So, for example, my clients that do want to travel on an emergent basis, that is going to be required, an in-person appointment to then tend to make a decision about whether you can travel. So that's one of the issues, but usually I don't do the InfoPass, just to check the status of the case. Can I have your number? So it's 561 405 4889. And I'm going to put it in the comments. So I'm going to put a comment myself. And it's under immigration lawyer Sharifa. It's me in front of an American flag. So you can take the number from there, give us a call and schedule your appointment ASAP. Your appointment can be with me, or your appointment can be with Attorney Bria. If my visa is canceled, how soon can I reapply? So when your visa is canceled, unfortunately, it means that they found something, they found some form of violation or issue where they saw it fit to take away the visa. So what it does mean is that you will have a very hard time applying for your visa again. And if you're barred, so if they cancel it and you're barred for a certain number of years, at minimum, you're going to have to wait for those years before you reapply. And then you have to think about what was the wrongdoing, what was the violation involved, and how does it impact your eligibility for the future. So it's a lot more complex than saying, hey, your visa got canceled, but you can always reapply. Unfortunately, you have a hard road ahead of you to get that visa back. Entered with F1 visa, but not attended the school. Now I'm married to a citizen, have kid. Is there any problem? So it depends on how they interpret the fact that you have um, it depends on how they interpret your entry into the United States. Did you do this based on fraud? If you did this based on fraud, as in you got the F1, but your real intention was to end up staying, that's going to be a problem. So if you have any concerns, this is where it's very important to be represented, because if you're not represented and they do bring up these allegations of fraud, it means that you are gonna, be in serious problems. All right, so here I am on YouTube. Put those questions in your comments. I'm going through very quickly. How long to apply for naturalization if green card received in 2021? So 2021. Now, uh, if you got your green card through your U.S. citizen spouse, then 2024 is gonna be the year. If you are still with your U.S. citizen spouse, then 2024, you count 3 years from the date you got your green card, and you'll be able to apply for citizenship. Granted, of course, you meet all the other requirements. Thanks so much for the love on TikTok. Now, if you got your green card through any other means, it's likely going to be 5 years. Now, if you're a military member, 1 year. So um, that's that's the timeline that you'd be looking at, just depending on your situation. What CO9P category means? So CO9 is basically the category for family based or marriage based work permit, and then the P stands for it stands for the parole that you applied for. So if you got the CO9P, it means that you can travel, and that you would be able to work. So you're going to get the combo card likely, where you get to work, and you get to work and travel on that combo card as well. All right. Okay, no sound. All right, let me know on Instagram if the sound comes back. All right. Let me know on Instagram if the sound comes back. If not, I have to come out and go back in. All right, so let's continue. Hello, I have a question. Tell me when you find a VAWA, does your lawyer get your biometrics letter? So, yes, so in this case, VAWA, so the attorney does get all the correspondence, and this is for safety reasons that they usually send it to the attorney. All right. Thanks so much for joining again on Instagram. So I had a little interference, but it's fixed. It should be fixed now. So we shouldn't have any more problems. All right. So on TikTok, let's go ahead and answer some questions here. How about the fiance? So I'm not sure what you're referring to with the fiance visa, but only U.S. citizens can apply for the fiance visa. The fiance visa is for those outside of the U.S., not here, and they you do have to show an intention that you plan to get married after getting the fiance visa, at least within 90 days of getting the fiance visa. So and you've met in the most recent 2 years in person, unless you can qualify for a waiver. What's the requirements for change of status? So you have to first thing, don't overstay. If you overstay, you're not going to be allowed to change status. Now, if you're asking about change of status in immigration is referring to one non-immigrant status or visa changing to another one, right? So, for example, changing from student to, say, you go from F1 to J1, right? Something, a change like that, where you're not getting permanent residence, but you're changing from one status to the next, or from J1 to B1 to back to visitors. So that's change of status. Adjustment of status is where you're applying to get the green card while staying in the United States. That has a number of requirements and it's going to depend on your circumstances. This is where it's very important to have a consultation. The purpose of the consultation is to determine whether you qualify for that. My application for family I-130 from November 2010 estimated time. How much longer is our wait time? So it depends on who filed the petition and what category you fall in. File VAWA in April 2021, got combo card for prima facie. How long for a decision? I am seeing about 3 years. Now, keep in mind, now they're issuing a 5-year work permit because they know it's taking that long to get the VAWA. So they're issuing 5-year work permits, 5-year travel documents that allows you to continue to maintain at least that while you wait for the decision. So you don't have to constantly be renewing, which can cause some stress. I submitted I-290B and paid the 675 and USCIS I think that I don't know if you're talking about rejected it. I wouldn't. It's not complete here. Your question. I got the green card through a daughter who is a U.S. citizen, so that's Marie. Um, So it's going to be 5 years, Marie, until you can apply for citizenship. Um, how long for 360 to be approved and I-485? So 3 years right now, the processing time for the VAWA, and then you're looking at about another 6 months to a year to get the green card. I have the I-512 advanced parole and I want to join the US military. They say to me, I have to have the green card first to start the process. How can you get the green card to make the dream reality? So that's definitely a noble dream. However, you do have to find your way to the green card. How you qualify for the green card, though, is going to depend on your circumstances. This is where you do have to schedule an appointment so I can understand what your situation is to be able to advise further. If I applied for asylum and not been called in for the last 9 years, do I qualify for the green card after 10 years? So no. you do still have to wait for your asylum to be approved. So that is another thing that we do have over a million asylum cases pending, and they are processing them very slow. So we're finding that people's asylum cases are taking approximately around 8 years to be processed. So it is definitely frustrating. But what they have done is said, if you've been here for that long, after you do get approved for asylum, then you can start working on your green card. How long does the USCIS respond back on I-290B? So usually it doesn't take too long, but I don't know what happened in your case. All right, so let's go back to TikTok and answer some questions here, and then I have to head out to the next appointment. Can someone travel to country of origin with TPS and travel document? So if yes, so you can travel with the TPS. However, is it a good idea? Is it advisable to travel out to your own country? Because remember, the purpose of TPS is to protect you from the conditions in your country. So you just have to be careful, make sure it's advisable to do that. How long is VAWA taking? So I answered that. I need to see, my son is not yet a citizen and I need a work permit. Definitely, we can talk to you to see if that can be a possibility for you. How long take the green card for cancellation of deportation if judge approval? So it does still take a while. So it's taking approximately 2 to 3 years still, even after the approval, unfortunately. But you've jumped the hardest hurdle or the highest hurdle there, which is to get the approval on the cancellation. Thanks so much for the love and the gifts. My child has CRBA approved certificate and a US passport. Do I need to include this info on the I-130? So I would have to look at what kind of certificate you got. You know, where did you get this certificate from? What if you come into the country as a child and now 21? How can you get papers and not be sent back? So this is what they're one of the things that I wish they would resolve. They now this DACA was one solution. However, it's no longer available for new applicants, unfortunately. And so they are trying to some advocates are trying to definitely push for dreamers, those who have come here as children, to get their papers here. But that is a slow process right now. So what you need to do is definitely check with me to determine whether you qualify in other ways. Thanks so much for the love. I appreciate it. I get married with US citizen and still I have a B1 visa. Can I apply for adjustment of status? If you're here in the United States, you came in with a B1 visa, then adjustment of status generally would fit your situation. But I get legal advice, always get legal advice, because if you're asking this, you have any doubts, you need to make sure you're represented. But generally, yes, that does qualify you. All right, I have to head out. I'm going to the next appointment. I'll answer one more question and then I'll be back tomorrow. I don't want to apply through VAWA for my 10 years. Is there any other way besides VAWA? We need to talk. So if you want to figure out another way, we need to talk. But VAWA is a good option for you. It's confidential. So it is an option. And if you're still applying based on the mistreatment, no matter what, it's not going to get as good as VAWA, because you do get, while you're waiting, if your or relative is a US citizen, you get 5 years work permit right now. Right now, that's what they're issuing. So the benefits are better because you do continue to have your work permit, your travel document for the time that you're waiting for the VAWA to be processed. So um, you have to look at the options before you to know what's best. All right. Thanks everyone for your time, your love. I really appreciate it. And I will be back tomorrow where we can talk some more about some immigration issues. I really do appreciate your questions. These are great questions. All right. So see you tomorrow. Please save your questions for tomorrow. Bye-bye.